We have one more plenary with the students, a student panel discussion with observations and a wrap-up of the day, because as was stated right in the beginning of the day, we're really interested in seeing what and in listening to what observations the younger people do in according to the Climate Justice and Health Equity conference that we had today. So I believe it's Karel Gijseling from Enable Belgium who is going to be moderating. So Karel, can you hear me?
Yes, Annabelle, I can hear you very well. And I hope the whole audience is hearing me as well. I would say good evening to everyone, to you. It's about sunset time, and normally this is a very good time of the day to reflect on the day, and we will do that in very good company. And we have 4 panelists with us. They are all master students of public health from ITM, either ULB, UCL. And we have, first of all, Aminata Bagayoko from Mali. Welcome, Amin. And then we have also Riddhi Patel from India. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
We have also Calvin Tonga from Cameroon. Welcome, Calvin.
Thank you.
And then we have also Gabriel Mansi from Rwanda. And I also would like to take the opportunity, welcome, Gabriel, and I would also like to take the opportunity to welcome in particular all the students from the master students from ITM and ULB who are surely watching now in particular. So as in climate change, we don't have, time is not with us, so let's immediately start. Today we focused on impact of climate change, and this is again illustrated by this this cartoon that the impact is huge actually, and the content was very rich and diverse, ranging from penguins who didn't manage to get their malaria prophylaxis to greedy capitalists who may be responsible for a 9 degrees Celsius rise on the pole. So a very wide scope. So therefore, my question straight to the panelists: how did you experience that day? What is your general feeling about it?
Aminata?
Yes, Amin?
Yeah, probably, je vais le dire en français.
I'll speak French, so I am more comfortable. From the beginning of the conference, I realized that in my environment, I tend to explain to people that climate change is a reality, the polar bears are suffering, ice cap are melting. But today I realized that people, as the lady said during the introduction, people in Mali do not know about polar bear, about North Pole, about snow. So I think we should find concrete example in our very close environment in order to explain to people little by little what happens and what's the impact and how they are living the impact day by day in all their daily activities. So this conference allowed me to structure my idea and to know what I can bring about, because for me, it is more about raising awareness at the lowest level, from the family level up to the highest level. And this is the way I lived today's conference. So thank you very much to all the speakers. So indeed, putting the local context.
Someone else who wants to react from the panelists?
Yeah, it's Calvin. I had 2 feelings, adding to what Aminata have already said. In fact, the first thing is we're talking about climate change as something that is distanced. People in tropical area, in fact, in my setting, don't look at it as something that is that concerns them directly. It is always something that is abroad, and we look at it that we watch in journals, on TV, things are happening, but we don't do the link. We don't do the link with the ongoing processes in our context. So we've been experiencing landslides due to heavy rainfalls in the country, but people do not usually link this to climate change, whereas we are also experiencing an increase in temperature. I think it is almost also a call for researchers back in countries to look into this issue of climate change, especially the link with health. So planetary health I think, is a topic of interest for everybody, and I think scientists should pay interest in it, not only in developed countries. Other thing also is like a little controversial is in our countries too, we welcome investors. They are highly welcome because we are like, we want to develop countries. So people we show on TV are usually investors, those corporates who are coming to invest in the country, those who are making money. Development is also, but most of the time we don't look at what they can do to preserve the environment, to invest, yes, but to preserve the life on the planet. So and we have like two type of messages. One is the message of development that is not paying attention to what is happening to the nature, and the other one is the message of the nature that is like, okay, corporates are doing harm to the nature. So we also need to get to a balanced view of all this, and this is the tricky idea that came out of the conference today. So how do we balance needs for development on that developed world with the need for maintaining a good planetary health? This is also a topic of concern, and I think we should look more into that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Calvin. Please leave your camera on when you have spoken. It's good that everyone keeps seeing you as in a real life panel. That's the purpose. Okay, I don't know if either Rudy or Gabriel wants to add something on it to that, or if not, I have another question ready. But please go ahead if you want to share something.
Yes, thank you very much. As you said, my name is Gabriel Manzi. I'm a medical doctor currently pursuing a specialized master's in public health science. I applied research in global health, which is an inter-university course which is given by Université Catholique de Louvain, Université Libre de Bruxelles. Thank you very much for the organizers for this informative conference on climate justice and also health equity. As a participant, it is a good opportunity for me to attend this conference because it has been informative, and I've learned a lot from the presenters, as we have seen that climate change is the biggest global health threat for this 21st century, and there is a need for an urgent need to address this issue, because this is a reality in our environment, and we see it day by day, because as we have seen droughts, we have seen volcano eruptions, and also we have seen extreme temperatures. We have seen that even as the presenters have clearly indicated that to address climate change needs a holistic approach. And we have seen that it needs a global collaboration, so that it is not a problem of one country or one region, that it has to be addressed holistically. Thank you very much.
Okay, Calvin, thank you very much for that. Oh, sorry, it was Gabriel. Excuse me, Calvin. You were there. Rudy, you want to add something on this, or?
I think it's much similar to everyone, so we can go ahead on the next question.
Okay. Good. Well, really, while you're there, maybe I can ask you a question. Is there something in particular which touched you today? It could be a quote, it could be a picture, maybe a question, a graph, anything that you say, well, this particularly stayed in the back of my head, actually.
So the particular thing, I really had goosebumps when, you know, we in the planetary health. So when the earth is being seen as a patient and we are treating the patient and, you know, inferences, diagnosis, and what's the treatment. So that's really touched me. And through that, I was like, no, I really need to do something in that direction. And I would just say, like, personally, after during the COVID times and before, I started reducing my plastic use. But now, like, I'm adapting to certain other ways, like having eco-friendly menstrual users, and also promoting them among my friends and everyone. So like this also brings me to like be inclusive of more other healthy practices. And this was a diverse platform where like different fields merged to bring out something important to address. That's the climate change and health, which is really ignored. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's nice. Anyone else who wants to share a specific quote or message or picture which touched you in particular today?
Yes, for example, there are good practices which we are shared during the presentation. For example, the nutrition program which was implemented in Tanzania, or the solar energy project which was implemented in Kenya. These were good examples which show that if it is replicated in other areas, we can have a better world where, because for example, as it was shown in how the solar energy was used to power health facilities or other areas, this can be a good example if it is replicated in other regions. Thank you.
Indeed, not reinventing the wheel, but learning from each other, from good experiences. This is indeed quite important to move fast and in an efficient way, but adapted to your context then, of course. Calvin or Amin? Something you want to share, something in particular?
Yeah, maybe.
That's you.
Yeah, I mean, go on.
Ok.
Yeah.
Ce qui m'a le plus touché, c'était
what touched me most, or what I will take away, is the implementation of the solar system in the health system. For Mali, for example, which is a very hot country where we have sun throughout the year, it could be a very good program. But with all the security issue due to terrorism, notably, it would be a major challenge that I think would be good to think about it already.
Thank you very much, Amin.
Yeah, what I also took like a core element is there are some ideas of research. I saw how people are doing research on climate change and what kind of methodology they will use. I think time series have been one methodology here for the epidemiology, especially the study by by the Belgian Institute of Research. She just told us about the link between mortality and heat, and I saw how we can translate data into results and ideas or actions to be taken to improve on people's life. And I also, it was very interesting to listen at Fiona from South Africa on the work they did with pregnant women with the uncomfortable with the heat, So this gives us ideas on how to go about research concerning climate change and health. And I think many more things can be done on this regards. So I keep it in mind, and I think we should start reflecting on what we can do, also to shed more light on what is going on in our specific context as concern climate change and the impact that it has on people's health. We may be spending much money trying like to solve problems, symptoms, as we said, symptoms, rather than tackling the real causes of the problems that we are facing.
Yeah, that's very important, really going to the causes, because we don't have time to treat symptoms. You have to really go to the core. If you look at the whole program today, were there some things you didn't hear? Maybe things you missed that you say, well, I expected that we would cover that, or from my experience, this is an important element I wanted to learn about, and we didn't touch it. Are there some things like that or not? Anyone can speak up or think, maybe. Maybe you didn't miss something immediately.
I haven't seen a lot of like cooperation between African countries themselves to fight together, cause we share, like in some part we have a river, same river, and like in Mali, one of our river, Fleuve du Niger, is going dry. So maybe, and we have the same, Senegal have this, Guinea, Niger, they have this same river also. It will be maybe good, better for us to work together as not only, because I have seen a lot of North-South cooperation as some program in Congo with cooperation in Belgium, but it will be, for me, most important also for African countries themselves to work together against this climate change issue. Yeah.
Indeed, I think it's a very nice comment, this regional cooperation in order to cooperate around climate change issues. This is very important indeed.
Someone else who wants to step in?
Yes. Yeah, we in Cameroon, they have been concerned on climate change, but with a focus on the Lake Chad basin. I think you've heard about the Lake Chad basin. We share the Lake Chad with Chad and Niger and even Nigeria. And the lake has reduced more than 2/3 within the past decades. And so the main concern here was how we share resources, water, fishes, because people live on that. But I don't think I ever heard of anything relating to people's health. And the area is really impacted by health problems. But I'm not sure people ever related this to climate change and the reduction of Lake Chad and the scarcity of resources like fishes, and even some farms that were irrigated from the lake and all the like. So I think there are many things that we really need to pay attention at, and that may draw more awareness on the impact of climate change on health. On getting to the conference, I was really asking myself, what are we going to talk about? Because at first, I was not like, it was difficult to make this direct link between, climate justice and health equity. So, but as we are going into it, I was like, okay, but it is really insightful and there are many things to learn. Maybe a few things that also I found like missing is local initiatives. I think we need more to showcase local initiative, what people already do in their context, like to manage this issue of climate change in the domain of health. will be better. We saw much of cooperation from the West to country, the support of Western, let's say ENABER and other World Food Programs to countries. But we would like to also see local initiatives showing how people engage and what they do in day-to-day life to tackle issues with climate change. And I think only one speaker at the beginning, I think it was even the first to speak from the Uganda, Bob. He said, okay, I sensitize people, I promote, I raise awareness, share eco-friendly skills in my environment. But we would like to hear more about what people do on this and how it impacts health. And maybe one observation, it will be good. I think during the third session we saw that the title of the session was on the screen, and you could know this is the session we are in. But for the two previous sessions, that was not the case. And also for presentation, if it is possible to put also the title of the presentation, maybe somewhere in the heading, so that if you catch the program on ongoing, you know at least what is the title. And finally, if possible, also adding subtitle, maybe in another language for those who are not speaking the language of the presenter. So these are the three observations that I wanted to share with you.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Very good. Yes,
think,
Riddhi,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So the thing I was expecting that we might be thinking about advocacy. Sabine and Beverly said how, it is important to do advocacy for the policymakers to change. So that is the beginning. At individual level, we do make a difference, but the major differences come at the policy level. So how or what are the things which have been successfully done so far, or like some, community engagements or persistent community, the indigenous group are doing that. So from that, how we can learn and take back into our lives and how do we do the advocacy ahead? So that would be one thing which I was expecting. And other thing, yes, as Calvin said, I second with that we should give the mic to the indigenous people or the local people kind of, and give this platform to them and this opportunity to present themselves to us and to the world, so that we can learn from them too directly. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, if I look back to what Kelvin said, the importance of, there's a lot of local initiatives there, which are there already adapted to the people try to cope, and that to bridge the gap with the advocacy at policy level, to present those cases, but also to make claims on people's rights and be a bit more activist. That's a bit that gap. Okay, very good. Amin, you wanted to add something?
No, it's okay. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Coming back to, because tomorrow we will think a bit on the future, on being transformative and on taking action. And Riddhi already talked about it. You talk about reducing plastic use, and also your engagement in promoting this to your immediate environment, friends, and your working environment. So those are already very concrete actions. In general, what you heard today, what things inspired you to say, well, starting from tomorrow, this is at personal level, the action I can take or do better?
I mean, like I said, I started last year to be a more formative and making sure that every visit I take my own bag, like be it anywhere. So I always carry a bag, personal bag, wherever I go, and make sure not taking any plastics with me, and or if I'm taking, I reuse them until I can use them. And also I'm a big shopaholic, any women will be, so I have reduced down on shopping a lot. So that's my thing, and I'm like, okay, I'll stick to that again, that I'll reduce my shopping, like clothes and shoes, because that also impacts the environment, and stick to that. Thank you.
You will do one big shopping then, with everything at once.
Yes, and not for the year.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Those are very concrete things. Anyone else who wants to share her or his intentions?
Moi, à la maison, au
At
Mali.
home in Mali, what we've been doing for over 1 year now is that we're using more natural products, especially for our hair, for our house, much more natural products, and we do not use wood for cooking. And that's important for a country that needs that result, because chopping woods allow other people to earn a living. So these people should have a job. So at home, we do not use wood, we use more natural products, and that's it. Here in Belgium, I have my own bag for each, so I do not use plastic, or even much less plastic.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Merci, Amin.
Yeah, I think for me, I stopped using paper. I have extremely reduced the use of paper, except if it is obligatory. Now that we can do almost everything on our computer. And also in Belgium, we drink tap water, so we don't have to. Back in country, you have plastic bottles everywhere. All gutters and rivers are polluted with these plastic bottles. But I think this is still very, very little. I think we can do more because preserving the planet it should be a lifestyle. So I think we should engage in working with children. The example from Tanzania on how to grow garden in school and how children took it back to their parents is really motivating. If children from school can start learning planet preservation, this will get back to their parents, and we are training like the future generations of those who will really make a change in this climate change issue. If there is an investment to be done, I think that should be a core of this investment, working on future generations to forget about our bad habits of managing the planet and develop new skills, new ways of doing things that will preserve the environment. We can also target middle-class people. We have now this solar energy in our countries where the electricity of fossil energy is being given, but it's not steady. You have shortage almost all the time. People turn to buying generators and use fuel for that, but they can also be encouraged to install like solar panel and have energy for free after installation. So we can do something in advertising this, in subsidizing, encouraging people to go toward that direction. It can also reduce our carbon footprint on the planet. Thank you.
A whole list of things. Interesting. Gabriel?
Yes, thank you very much. I can give an example. Like back home in Rwanda, there is a country policy that we're no longer using plastic bag to package goods from the supermarket. Or we have tried to use materials which are easily recycled, and it has been implemented the whole country. Nowhere in the country you can see the plastic bag. Thank you.
Yeah, it is true. To add what Gabriel was saying, I remember in 2019, I was going to Rwanda because I was working in DRC in Goma, and I asked to remove all the plastic from my luggage. I said, the police will say it, the custom, they will say the plastic in my luggage, so I remove everything. And it's really a good initiative in Rwanda.
Great. Okay, time is very fast, and I think we have already come to the end because the half an hour has passed. I have the feeling we could go on for a long time because you have a lot of reflections, interesting reflections. Luckily, tomorrow there's another day, and fortunately, it's also online, which is an opportunity at the same time for climate change. It may be good. But I think we're all looking forward to tomorrow, to see a bit more looking to the future of what I've learned today from ego to eco. I hope we will make a step in that collective intelligence, that just like the ants, we might be a bit more intelligent in working together. As I mean, you also suggested to have this collaboration between countries. It's like the ants, we have to organize ourselves to work in a collaborative way. So, okay, unless someone wants to say something very shortly or share something, I think we have to close down. But I still scan quickly if someone wants to react. It's the moment. Something you want to absolutely share, please go ahead. But if I don't hear you, I will just hand over to Annabelle again.
I don't hear anyone either.
Sorry?
So
yes,
let me
Annabelle,
thank you.
over to you again.
Let me thank you, Karel Gijsselink. And of course, the students. That was absolutely wonderful to have your point of view on it. Aminata, Bagayoko, Calvin Tonga, Ridi Patel, and Gabriel Manzi. Thank you very much. You are also invited to look at tomorrow's day, because tomorrow we will talk much more about opportunities and what can be done.